All right, welcome to Theory of the Dollar, Dr. Jermaine Kimble. Um, the cadence of the show is going to be, one week we have someone, trying to find out how they did what they're doing or, how they got started, any pitfalls they may have run into, that sort of thing. And then there's going to be weeks it's just me, and we'll talk, maybe about my journey as a consultant. But ultimately, the goal of the show is to encourage you to bet on yourself and to, take the leap to, chase your own dreams, whatever that may be, whether it's, excelling in your career path and where you are, or venturing out and trying your own thing. So again, we'll cover a wide range of things over the course of, the shows. So for this week, I wanted to talk about one of the comments that we received, which I love them. And please continue, like, comment, share, all that stuff, both on chasetheambition.com as well as YouTube, Facebook, wherever you happen to see the video. But one of the comments we received was, basically wishing they had access to this level of information or had this level of knowledge when they were younger. And, that took me down a wild path because, initially I wanted to go on this, not a rant, but I wanted to talk about, all these different people who started late in life and found success. But, a lot of us, we know those names. And I'm going to go through a few of them today. But what I wanted to focus on is time. So a little about myself. I'm 47 years old. And I'm now at that age where it's becoming more and more common to hear about, classmates or, old friends, relatives who are around my age group passing away, unfortunately. Facebook is good for, putting those things in your face. Like I love going down, like when, you log in and you get your memories for the day from, 10, 12, however many years ago. And I go through the comments to see, check and see who I haven't spoken to in some time, or just, maybe, what's going on in their world. And I've found over the past 6 months, I've lost about 3 different classmates, all around the same age range, 46, 47, something like that. A couple from elementary school, middle school, one from high school just maybe about 2 weeks ago. And that's that reminder that we're not promised the next day. So those things that we say in our heads that we have time to do. We have tomorrow. We'll get started on our workout plan on Monday. We'll, whatever it is. I want to look into starting a business, and I'll keep doing my research, and maybe, at the end of the year I'll be ready, or the beginning of next year. Especially, don't get me started on like New Year's resolutions. We talk about all the things that we're going to do in the future as if that time is guaranteed to us, and it's not. And, that's a problem of youth. We have this belief that, we're invulnerable for some reason. Like my kids, I have, 3. I have a 14, a 6, and a 2. And the bulk of my life, the bulk of my time and their mom's time is trying to stop them from doing something that'll kill themselves. My son thinks that he's Spider-Man and he could jump downstairs a whole flight. My daughter wants to climb anything that you put in front of her, no matter how big it is. It's just, kids have this, they have this force field around them, at least in their mind. And, as we get older, we may not think like kids do in that regard, but we definitely hold on to this belief that we have time to do all these things. And, life, as long as it feels at times, is relatively short. So I want you to take that and think about all the things that you say that you'll do tomorrow, and treat those things as if you're not promised tomorrow. You don't have time. If you live your life with the belief that you don't have time to wait, all those things that you keep putting off, those doors that you could be walking through, they'll start opening faster because you're acting with deliberation. You're really just focused on, I'm going to be focused and deliberate in what I'm doing, and it's going to happen sooner than it would if you keep putting it off. That phone call you need to make, that friend that, you may have fallen out with, that you, in the back of your mind, that you need to make right. Make it right. Do what you have to do today. So even that, even goes towards your dreams and your business goals and your work goals. Do it today, and you will see results faster than putting it off. So to go back to that original comment that was made about, wishing they had access to this information, there are a lot of people that, started in the same position that you're in today, whether in your 30s, 40s, whatever the case may be, that they had a 9 to 5, they had an idea, and they focused on getting it done, and they acted on it. So I'm going to cover a few of those names, and some you may know right as soon as you hear it, others you may not. Like I am a nerd, so comic books, all that stuff, growing up, even to this day. So one of my favorites, and I won't really get into it, was Stan Lee. Stan Lee was 40 years old when he created his greatest creation, arguably, because some people may say Fantastic Four, but he didn't create Spider-Man until he was 40 years old. So, it's never too late to really chase after or go after that dream you may have had, or that, what if. So I'm going to do 10 names. All right. So the first is Eric Yuan. So at 41 years old, he was working at Cisco Systems, and he left there and created something that, if you had to work during COVID, all too well, Zoom. Man is a billionaire because of something he created after he left his 9 to 5. David, and I'm going to butcher a couple of these names. I'm going to tell you ahead of time now. So David Baszucki, 41 years old when he created the bane of my existence because of that 6-year-old I mentioned, Roblox, that I've spent ungodly amount of money. My son, he wants to Roblox or whatever it is. So 41 years old, he created Roblox. He and the co-founder, Eric Castle, was 36 at the time. Donald Fisher, 40 years old, had no experience in retail at the time. He and his wife created The Gap. And, and that was in 1969. So, again, no retail experience, had a dream, went after it. Gary Heaven, 40 years old, he created Curves in 1992. Robin Case founded Zipcar, age of 42 in 2000, and was successful with it enough to move on to another venture. Sam Walton, this is one of the names that many of you probably know. Sam Walton, successful retail management career in his 20s and 30s, but it wasn't until he was 44 that he created Walmart. And this is one of the names I promise I'm going to butcher, and I apologize. I mean, no disrespect. Mumu Foku Ando. Hope I got that right, or at least close. This is one of the greatest creations for all of us who are broke college students, or are broke college students, or just broke in general. We all owe this person a huge tip of the hat, gratitude, whatever. Excuse me, whatever it may be. Created ramen, ramen noodles at 49 years old. Jack Cover worked as a scientist at NASA and IBM. At 50 years old, created the taser gun. Tim and Nina Zagat, 51-year-old lawyers, and that's when they published their first book, The Zagat Restaurant Review Guide. And finally, Ray Kroc. Now, some of you may have seen the movie about him. Ray Kroc was a milkshake machine salesman, and it wasn't until he was the age of, I didn't write his name down. Oh, there we go, 52, that he purchased and began the wildfire that is McDonald's. So all that to say that there is a lot of opportunity no matter how old you are. It's just on you to pursue it. So what's stopping you? We all have procrastinated at some point of our lives. Some of us still have a problem with it today, but the only thing standing in your way of chasing the ambition or, whatever it is that you're looking to do is you. Now, some of the folks that we've talked to so far and we will continue to talk to, may have had some of the same challenges as you. Where is the funding coming from? So we've talked to some people who continued to work their 9 to 5 and treated the dream as the side hustle until they built up enough money. Others had 401ks to pull from, and some went through the SBA, the Small Business Association, about getting funding to start their business. So we'll delve into each of those ways that if money is your obstacle, how do you overcome that? If finding vendors to supply your business is an obstacle, we'll talk to people about how to overcome that. One of the suggestions I made you on the first episode, it was just me, was about going to trade shows and speaking and building connections and networking. So there are a number of ways that we can address the hurdles you have. And, I know I'm not covering them all. So that's why I encourage you to join chasetheambition.com or go on the YouTube channel, leave comments, and that will help steer where these conversations go, who we reach out to talk to see if we can address some of your other challenges. Again, ultimately, the goal here is to encourage you to bet on yourself instead of helping make someone else rich. Let's work on making you rich, or let's work on giving you the time that you want to dedicate to your family or to your other passions, your other goals. So my solo episodes won't be as long as the interviews because I don't want to bog you down with just me talking at you, but I'm hoping to, kind of, I guess, turn your attention to places that you can work on yourself that cost no money, to help you achieve your goal. So thank you for joining me. I look forward to future conversations. Again, like, follow, share, all that good stuff. And join chasetheambition.com. After each episode, I will be there to discuss any further topics, answer any questions. Same with YouTube. I try to respond to every question or comment that's left behind, and I appreciate you for doing so. And we'll talk soon. Thank you.